Queen Faghorn. Story told and sung by Gavin Kennedy. She's the dark of night, she's the end of light, she's a very nasty queen. Faghorn is her name, evil is her game, she's the dark without a flame. Queen Faghorn was not happy. A young servant had just broken her favourite wineglass. She turned to her guards. "Off with his head," she ordered. "Please, no," begged the boy servant, falling to his knees. "Take him away," shouted the queen. The castle guards dragged the boy across the white marble floor as the queen continued her midday meal. His pleas for mercy echoed down the stairwell. Today the queen was eating in the grand chamber room. It was the warmest room in the castle. She stuffed another roast potato into her mouth and burped loudly. "Somebody open the window," she hollered, wiping the sweat from her brow. "It's too hot in here." A servant prized open the window. Cool air rushed into the room. With it came the cry of the boy servant from the courtyard below. The queen smiled as she sliced her meat into smaller pieces. "Let that be a lesson to you all," she hissed. "Now, fetch my pipe." The queen enjoyed smoking after each meal. She had adopted the habit after Christopher Columbus had returned from the New World and introduced tobacco to Europe. But it wasn't something her doctor had approved of. "Filling your lungs with smoke can't be good for you," he had warned. "That pipe could be the end of you." His first caution had been ignored. His second had become his last. He was taken to the courtyard and silenced with the axe. Queen Faghorn chewed a large piece of grizzle, wiping the grease from her double chin with the back of her hand. She tried loosening the top button of her blouse, but her chubby fingers made the task too difficult. Instead, she reached for her wooden pipe. "Where is my tobacco?" she boomed. There was a sudden burst of activity as her 3 servants scurried about the room, searching for her red tin of dried tobacco leaves. They looked under tables, under cushions and rugs, behind cabinets, all to no avail. "Hurry up, you nincompoops!" she raged, banging her pipe on the table. "There'll be more heads rolling if you don't find it this minute." No sooner had she spoken than one of the servants spied a red tin in the far corner. "Your Majesty," gasped the man, "your tobacco's over there." The impatient queen rose from her chair and thundered across the room, shoving the nearest servant into the wall. She grabbed the tin. "It's empty!" she shrieked, hurling the metal container out the window. The queen turned around. "Call the guards," she snarled. "It's time you boneheads met the axe." The servants looked at each other, then back at the queen. The guards were still down in the courtyard. There was no one in the chamber room except themselves and the queen. "Look, there by the window!" cried one of the servants. Queen Faghorn turned around. The servant was pointing to a red tin resting on a small cabinet by the open window. She moved towards it. Suddenly, an almighty push came from behind. It threw the queen completely off balance. She screamed as she realized she was being directed towards the open window. "Stop!" she hollered. A moment later, Queen Faghorn was left dangling high above the courtyard. Her backside had become wedged in the window frame. It had saved her life. A crowd gathered below. Sentries abandoned their posts to witness the spectacle. "Guards!" wailed the queen. "Where are my guards?" But the guards were nowhere to be seen. The queen skewed her head up towards the servants. "I'm going to have you scumbags burned alive, roasted like pigs on a spit." 2 of the servants backed away. The third remained where he was. He was staring at an open red tin lying on the floor. It was full of tobacco. The queen's mention of fire had given him an idea. He fetched the Queen's pipe and began packing it with tobacco leaves. "I think she needs her pipe," he smirked. He deftly lit the pipe and lifted the Queen's black Hessian dress. Bright red bloomers were stretched thin across her ample backside. He pushed the glowing end of the pipe hard against her skin. An explosive scream followed. It shook the air and sent large globs of spit raining down on the crowd. The servant moved further back as the Queen kicked furiously into the air. As he retreated, he saw that each kick was inching her further forward. "One more should do it," he cried, recharging the pipe. And so, on that cold winter's day, a warm cheer rose from the people in the courtyard. The Queen's reign of terror was over. Her doctor had been right. Her pipe would be the end of her. I can say they're sad, everyone is glad, glad to see the end of her.